You keep telling yourself you want more. More money, more muscle, more respect, more freedom. But more is not a goal. It is fog. And fog is where weak ambition hides. Because if you never define the target, you never have to face the truth. You never have to know whether you are winning or losing. But clarity is merciless. Clarity says how much, by when, at what standard, at what cost. And once you answer that, your life stops being a daydream. It becomes a mission, a real one, with weight, with pressure, with consequences. That is where power starts. You've been at this for years. That's real. You put in time. You put in effort. You showed up. But something is still off. You feel it, the gap between where you are and where you said you would be. That gap does not close with effort alone. It closes with direction, exact direction. Not, I want to get stronger. That is not a direction. That is a wish. Not, I want to earn more. That is not a plan. That is a feeling. Feelings do not build anything. Numbers do. Dates do. Standards do. You've been moving, but you have not been aiming, and there's a difference. Moving without aiming is burning time. You burn hard, you burn real, but you burn in circles. And circles feel like effort. Circles feel like progress. Circles are not progress. You end up back where you started, tired, still behind, still unsure why. Name your goal this year. Hold it in your head. What was the exact number? What was the exact date? If you cannot answer in 3 seconds, you did not have a goal. You had a direction. A direction is not a target. A target has coordinates. Enough. Not with the effort. Not with the grind. Not with the days you showed up. Enough with the vagueness. That is what is costing you the most. Not weakness, not bad timing, not the wrong environment. The vagueness. It lets you work hard and still feel okay about going nowhere, because nowhere is shapeless, and shapeless has no edge. No edge means no failure. No failure means no reckoning. No reckoning means nothing changes. The warrior who measures nothing conquers nothing. That is not a saying, that is a fact. Think about what it costs today. You have been working on it for months, maybe years. You could not tell anyone exactly what you are working toward. That costs you something. It costs you clarity. And without clarity, every day is negotiable. Every day you can wake up, decide to take it easy, tell yourself you're still on track because there is no track. There was never a track. There was just movement. Movement without a finish line is just surviving. You deserve more than surviving, but deserving something and earning something are two completely different things. You earn when you define. You earn when you write the number. You earn when you name the date and you hold the line, no matter what. A mission without numbers is a prayer without force. That is what you've been running, a prayer. A hard one, a real one, a genuine one, but still a prayer. And prayers without plans do not change outcomes. Here's what 1 year looks like without a target. You wake up, you work, you try, you sleep, you wake up, you try again. You feel busy, you feel useful, you feel like you're building. Then the year ends, and you cannot point to one thing, one exact thing that you built, that has a number on it, that you can measure, that you can say, this is what I hit. This is the proof.
That feeling at the end of that year, that is the cost of vagueness. Not failure, you worked. Not laziness, you tried. The cost is, you cannot tell whether you won or lost. And that is the worst place to be. Because losing is fixable. Losing tells you what to adjust. Losing gives you information. But not knowing keeps you guessing. Not knowing keeps you hoping. Not knowing is the trap. The one hiding how close. Yes, you. The one who tells people, I am working on it, but cannot say on what. Cannot say by when. Cannot say what done looks like. You know who you are. You felt that. The effort is real. The work is real. The time is real. The direction is not. Hold on. Because at this moment, this is exactly where most people get defensive. But I am doing my best. And that is true. You are doing your best. But best without direction is maximum speed with no target. Best plus a clear target, that is what actually builds. A clear target sharpens everything. Not your effort. Your effort is already there. Your effort is not the problem. What sharpens is your judgment. What sharpens is your daily decision. What sharpens is your ability to say, this moves me toward it, this does not. Without a clear number, without a clear date, without a clear standard, every action feels equally valid. Every hour feels productive. Every decision feels like progress. And that is the danger. Because you can spend 10 hours on things that do not move you forward and still feel like you put in 10 hours. You did. But 10 hours toward what? That question changes everything. Not the hours, the target behind the hours. Now go out a year further. 5 years from today. You are still at this, still working on yourself, still growing, still trying. But nothing has landed. Nothing has a number. Nothing has been finished. How much does that cost? Not in time, in who you become. Because 5 years of vague effort does not build a person, it ages one. Unacceptable. That word. Write it somewhere. Say it about vague goals. Say it about more. Say it about shapeless desire. Because the moment you decide something is no longer acceptable, you stop negotiating with yourself. And the negotiation, that is where most people lose. Every morning, you make a deal with yourself. Most of the time, you do not even notice. The deal sounds like this. I will do it later. I will start properly next week. I'm still figuring it out. Those are not decisions. Those are surrenders, dressed up as patience. Patience is a weapon, but only when you have a target. Patience without a target is waiting, and waiting is not strategy. Waiting is delay. The warrior does not wait. The warrior prepares. And preparation has a real plan behind it, with specifics, with a timeline, with a standard. Not, I will get better. Better at what? By how much? Measured how? By what date? Answer those, then you have a plan. He who defines the kill learns where to strike. That is what is happening on the other side. There are people at this exact moment, while you are still figuring out what you want, who wrote it down, who put a number on it, who named the date and started hitting it every single day. Not from having more resources, not from a better starting point, from aiming first, then moving. You moved first. You're still trying to aim, and you wonder why it feels hard. It is hard because moving without direction is hard. You burn twice the energy for half the result. That is not discipline. That is waste.
Intensity without direction
is waste. Say that again. Intensity without direction is waste. All of your effort, all of your grind, all of your early mornings and late nights without a fixed target. That is waste. Not punishment, not judgment, a fact. And facts are the beginning. Not the end, not the verdict, the beginning. Because once you name the fact, you can change it. Changing it starts with one thing, one question. What exactly do you want? Not more, not better, not success. Exact. A number, a date, a measurable standard. That is the question. And it does not feel comfortable when you first try to answer it. It feels heavy. It feels too specific. It feels like it might be wrong. Good. Wrong is a real thing. Wrong can be corrected. Fog cannot. When you write a specific target, you create an edge. An edge can be held, or it can be lost, but it can be fought for every single day. You cannot fight for fog. You cannot defend fog. You cannot sharpen fog. The edge is what you need. A master builds in silence and counts every stone. Every day is a stone. Every completed rep, every hour blocked, every number tracked, a stone. And at the end, you count. Not because counting is comfortable, because counting is honest. Honesty is the part that stings, because when you count, when you actually track it, you see the gap between what you said and what you did. And that gap is not failure. That gap is data. Data is what tacticians use. Not feelings, not hope, not I feel like I am making progress. Data. How many times did you hit the standard? How many times did you fall short? What was the margin? What was the trend? Those numbers tell you everything. Feelings tell you nothing.
You have been running on feelings. That is why the progress feels invisible. That is why the year ends and you cannot measure what changed, because you measured nothing. So nothing shows you the change. Start measuring, not as a punishment, as a weapon. The one who tracks the numbers has a power that the one who does not track cannot access. That power is certainty. Certainty that you are moving, or certainty that you are not. Either way, you know, and knowing is the beginning of control. Think about the last time you were absolutely certain you were making progress. Not feeling like it, certain. Certain because you had proof, numbers, dates, completed standards. Think about how that felt. That feeling is available every day, but only if you build the system, only if you write the target, only if you track the output. No system, no certainty, just hope. And hope is not enough, not for what you actually want. The path becomes real when the standard is written. Before you write it, the path exists only in your head, and in your head, it is always perfect, always on track, always going well. But on paper, the path has to be honest. On paper, you either hit it or you did not. You either closed the gap or you did not. You either held the standard or you did not. Paper does not forgive. Paper does not negotiate. Paper does not let you explain. Paper just shows the number. Weak minds prefer possibility over precision. Say that again. Possibility feels good. I could do this. I might achieve that. One day I will get there. Possibility has no due date. Possibility has no standard. Possibility cannot be lost. And because it cannot be lost, it cannot be won. It just floats forever in the space between wanting and doing. That is where you have been living.
Not by choice, by default, because no one told you that possibility is the enemy of progress. No one said your open future is keeping you stuck. The options in your head are a trap. Closing one door is what opens real ones. But that is the truth. The moment you choose a specific target, you close every other option. And that feels like loss. But it is not loss. It is commitment. And commitment is what moves things. The one who has heard this before, the one who already knows, who has heard set clear goals 100 times and still has not done it, this is for you. Knowing is not enough. Knowing never was. You can know everything about direction and still go nowhere. Because knowing without doing is the same as not knowing. The gap is not information. The gap is application. Apply it. Today, after this ends, write one target, not 10, one. Give it a number. Give it a date. Give it a standard. Write it down. That is the first move of a tactician. One target, written down, tracked. That is where discipline begins, not in the effort, in the aim. And then you hold it. Every day you measure against it. Every day you check the gap. Every day you answer one question. Am I closer or further? That question every single day. That is tactical living. That is what separates the ones who build from the ones who hope. Not talent, not resources, not timing. That question, asked honestly every single day. Order is a weapon against decay. Decay is what happens by default, without a target, without a standard, without a daily reckoning. Effort disperses, focus dissolves, months pass, and you are still in the same place, wondering why. Order stops that. Not perfect order, not rigid order, real order. A target, a standard, a daily check. That's it. That's the whole system. Now think about 10 years. 10 years from today, you are looking back. Two versions of you, same 10 years. Version 1, never wrote the target, never tracked the number, never named the standard. Still moving, still trying, still working on it. Version 2, wrote the target in year 1, tracked it, hit it, set a new one, tracked that. Both versions worked hard, both versions tried. One version has proof, one version has stories. Which version do you want to be? That question does not leave. Once you ask it honestly, it stays. Because now you can see it, the two paths side by side. And the difference is not huge. The difference is one decision, made early, repeated daily. Write the target, track the number, hold the standard. That is it. That is the whole distance between those two versions of you. One decision, repeated. The decision that costs nothing today costs everything in 10 years. That is not fear, that is a fact. Not doing this today costs you nothing painful. You will not feel it, you will not notice. The day will end fine. But in 10 years, you will feel every day you did not aim, every day you stayed vague, every day you forgave yourself without a number to anchor the forgiveness. That is the real cost. Not the cost of failing, the cost of never defining failure. Because if you never define it, you never fail.
and you never win. You just continue. And continuing without direction is not living. It is existing. You are not here to exist. You know that. You feel that. That is why this hits. You want more than existing. Then define the more. Exact more, numbered more, dated more, standard holding more. Not the feeling of more, the proof of more. The difference is everything. And the path there is narrower than you think, simpler than you think, harder than you think. Because simple is not easy, narrow is not comfortable. Writing the target is the easy part. Holding it when everything else is loud. Holding it when the effort feels pointless. Holding it on the days you cannot see the gap closing. That is where most people break. But you are not most people. You are the ones still here, still in this, still feeling this. That already says something. Not that you are special, that you are willing. And willing is the foundation you build on. Willing plus a clear target, that is real power. Not willing alone, willing aimed. That builds. So here's where it lands. You have the effort, you have the time, you have the drive. You've been proving that for months, maybe years. What you have been missing is a battlefield you can win on. Not a bigger dream, a smaller target. Specific, measured, timed, real. That's the shift. From dreamer to tactician. A dreamer wants more. A tactician defines how much, by when, at what standard. A dreamer feels behind. A tactician knows exactly what behind looks like and adjusts. A dreamer hopes things work out. A tactician measures whether things are working and corrects when they're not. You were a dreamer. That's not an insult, that's a description. And descriptions can change.
Today, after this ends, you make one move. Write the target. One target with a number, with a date, with a standard. That is the first move of a tactician. And once you make it, everything starts to organize. Not perfectly, not immediately, but it starts. Because now you have an edge, a real edge, something to hold, something to fight for, something to measure against. Every day, every hour, every decision now has a filter. Does this move me toward the target or away from it? That filter is power, real power, the kind you cannot buy, the kind you build, one measured day at a time. The enemy of progress is shapeless desire. You heard that at the start. Now you feel it. Shapeless desire is not weakness. It is just an early stage. Before you aimed, before you wrote it down, before you put a number on it. The shapeless stage ends now. Not because you are ready. You may never feel ready. Because you are done waiting to feel ready. That is the difference between the ones who move and the ones who wait. The ones who move do not wait for the right feeling. The right feeling does not come first. The movement comes first. The feeling follows. Write the target. Start moving toward it. The feeling of momentum comes from actual momentum, not from deciding you want it. You've been deciding you want it for a long time. Now decide the number, now decide the date, now decide the standard. Then move.
The mission is simple, not easy. Simple. One target, numbered, dated, tracked, held, every day, without negotiation, without forgiving yourself for missing the standard, without telling yourself, You will make up for it later. Later is the trap. Later is where targets go to die. Now and every day after now, until the number is hit, until the date arrives, until the standard is proven. Then set a new one. Do it again. That is not discipline as a concept. That is who you become. You started this, telling yourself you want more. More was fog. You know that now. Now you have something else, something heavier, something real, a question that does not leave. How much? By when? At what standard? Answer it. Write it down. Hold it. Track it. Prove it. Not to anyone else, to the version of you looking back in 10 years. Numbers or excuses, which one you have depends entirely on what you do after this ends. That is where the mission starts, not in wanting, in writing. Write the target.